About 10 years ago, I had a sinus infection and I went to the doctor. And while I was there, they said my blood pressure was insanely high. I think it was about 220 over 250. So they did some blood work and they found out that my levels were really bad for kidney function. They sent me to a nephrologist who sent me for a kidney biopsy, and they found out I had 3 separate kidney diseases. I have 2 children. My daughter Kaylee is about to be 16 in about 2 weeks. She's a straight A kid, has a 5.0. She's doing really good. My son Jay is 13 years old. He's still in 8th grade. Great kid, A's and B's. He's a little comedian. Great sense of humor. Can be a little bit sarcastic at times, but I figure since he's 13, that's kind of normal. When Jay was about 12 years old, we noticed that his hearing was going. I talked to him when we were in the house and he wouldn't reply to me. It was like he was ignoring me. We went ahead and took him to an ear, nose, and throat doctor who checked his ears, and it turned out he does have a significant amount of hearing loss. The doc knew that I had kidney issues myself, so he suggested to go ahead and go to a nephrologist just to check him out. And it turns out that he did have kidney failure also. When I found out that my son had kidney failure, we started going through the testing for him to get him on the list first. He's my son, my kid comes first. We had to do x-rays, EKGs, chest x-rays, sonograms of the kidneys, bunches and bunches of different tests. We ended up being able to get everything done in about 2 months, and we were put on the list. A couple weeks later, my son with his dad were at a family barbecue, and they were talking with one of the guests there. And she said, I'm a type B blood, so I want to go ahead and get tested. And it turned out she was a perfect match for him. I was able to get my transplant at the end of May. We already knew ahead of time that my son had his transplant planned for about 2 weeks after mine. So I was home about a week, and we went back in for my son, and he had his transplant. We were at the transplant center so often, we got to know the faces and everybody that was there. It was like coming home to family, and it just felt really nice when we went there. Through everything before we were released with our own doctors, we had to make that trip a good 100 times at least. Every time it was a 45-minute to an hour and 15-minute drive. The amount on the cars for the gas was insane. We have SUVs, so it's not cheap. Plus, when we were both in the hospital for our transplants, my family and friends all made the drive every day to come see us. Today, Jay is doing awesome. His color's returned. Since the surgery, he's put on about 10 pounds. He's grown 2 inches in just a few months. He can run, he can swim, everything that he used to be exhausted for. He no longer is tired. He can keep up with his friends. He's doing awesome in school still. Life today is great. I feel normal again, and it's a great feeling.